What is up, everybody? I'm Courtney.
I am Sean.
You can't see the screen with your hat.
You want one?
No, you have. What is this? What is it? You have a flower. You look like you're looking for your lost husband coming back from war.
You're mad because you don't have a plume.
Nobody can see your plume. All they can see is this flower.
The plume is there.
Good evening. Good evening. That's my top hat. Tipping. Grand time. What's going on, guys? Howie. Thank you for joining, guys. I want to take a moment and just shout out our sponsor, Rift Nation Network. Hill City Tours and Hill City After Dark is proudly sponsored by the Rift Nation Network. If you do not give them a like, follow, or a share when they have an awesome show on, what are you even doing? We don't know.
Right.
But head on over to their page, smash that like button, and it'll be a grand time.
A grand time.
Guys, we're a day late, but we are not $1 short. Well, yeah, I am.
I am now.
I am $1 short. I'm like a lot of dollars short.
A lot of dollars.
But guess what? I'm alive, I'm well, and I'm here with you fine people.
We live, baby.
We are live, baby.
Big old fat baby.
This week, as you notice, we are airing Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're constantly working. We're constantly running around, meetings,
Just this week.
that, the third. And next week, we are actually going to be airing on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Well. We have a board meeting on Tuesday.
Oh, God.
So.
That part.
The fun stuff. What's up, Michelle Wilfong with the Haunted Apartment? Guys, she's got excellent content on her YouTube. Smash that follow button.
Michelle.
All right. I'm going to wait for a couple more people to get in here, but we have a lot to talk about, guys. As you can see in my title, we are talking about mimics, doppelgangers in the astral plane. Okay, we're going to be navigating with you guys through what these might be, how to identify them, and then I'm going to have you guys help me debunk a situation that happened recently with our group while we potentially experienced one of the three. So, without further ado, guys, Hill City Tours has tours that are running every Friday and Saturday right here in Central Virginia. Grab up your tickets. This week, we have Ghosts of Gallows Hill as well as Echoes on the Avenue. Both of our lantern-led haunted walking tours. And then on Friday, we have an extreme low ticket warning. Guys, we only have 4 tickets left for our Friday haunted pub crawl. We live, baby. Daryl Phone App Paulette is in the house.
The Phone App Master.
Cody, if you guys have not jumped on Ghost of Gallows Hill, you're missing out. Rumor has it there's a hobo for hire, and you guys might want to go check him out. He needs to eat tonight, so, hop on over there and share some of your copper coins. All right.
Copper shillings.
Yes, the shillings.
The shillings.
Spare change. Spare change. What just happened?
Something's on my finger.
What just happened? All right, guys.
The orange peel.
Without further ado, okay, I'm going to just forget eating. Hobo needs more ghost hunting equipment. Oh, yes. We need to support the hobo so he can up his paranormal arsenal.
And catch ghosts.
And catch all the ghosts.
You got to catch them. When people ask me.
Well, you got to hunt them and then you got to catch them.
When people ask me, did y'all catch any ghosts? What is that? What does that exactly mean? Did you catch the ghost?
Well, people say that to you during hunting season too. Did you catch any deer?
Yeah, did I catch? Not exactly. I didn't catch him. I may have gave him a good night's sleep, but I didn't catch any.
Did you know that just for $1 a day, you too can supply a hobo in the arms of an angel?
In the arms of an angel.
I should have had that queued up. I need these warnings, Cody. All right, guys. So, when an investigator, I've got questions for y'all tonight. When an investigator or a homeowner hears a familiar voice calling their name from another room,
Courtney,
what criteria separates?
What you say?
Because you made me laugh. A benevolent psychic imprint from an active mimic. What red flags would signal that an entity is actively mimicking rather than just echoing? I'm going to ask you that first. Sit.
To me, it's the same thing. I'm mimicking an echo.
A mimic and an echo is the same thing. What do you guys think in the comments? It's nice because Robin is mean.
I don't ever hear Robin say anything.
We try to be nice to our hobos.
Robin never says anything. She just kind of sits there and smiles.
Okay. So then I'm going to pop it on to the next one, Sean. You said you think echoing and mimicking is the same thing. Historically, seeing one's own doppelganger was viewed as a crisis or an extreme omen. Okay. In modern investigation, though, how do we distinguish between an entity that's masquerading as a living person versus an actual glitch or bilocation?
Repeat that.
So historically, seeing one's doppelganger was viewed as a crisis or a grave omen. Like if you see your doppelganger, like you got 24 hours to live. Like, all right, it's crazy. But in modern investigations, right, how would we distinguish between an entity that's masquerading as a living person, so like a ghost presenting itself as you, or an actual visual glitch? Because she's in the room with a giant when you're around.
You know.
So now we have an abused hobo.
Oh, through history, people come up with all kind of stuff. A lot of theories. This whole thing that we do, this field that we call paranormal, is literally one big theory. You can
keep going.
And we're going to get to that too, Daryl, because I've been seeing a lot of that here lately. So you can a lot of people in the paranormal field I noticed here lately spit out a lot of stuff that they call science, but it's really just their belief. And you can literally look up the scientific theories on paranormal and it'll tell you
there is none.
There is none. So when people start spitting science facts at me and start claiming what that relates to paranormal, I kind of smile and say, okay, because if you ask a true scientist, I'm talking about the man with the papers behind them, scientist, he'll tell you there's no scientific proof of paranormal, or is there? So what I'm going to say is people come up with theories of things they don't understand. And a lot of people come up with beliefs of what they don't understand. And people tend to blur the line of belief versus what's actually going on. So if there's a person they see that's not really there and it's mimicking or reproducing that image, I'm leaning more towards a matrix glitch, which we're going to get to later. I'm thinking we're jumping time somehow. I don't think it's an evil omen. I'm not leaning towards we're really seeing something, two people. I'm thinking that this whole theory of we're living in a matrix right now could possibly be real. I'm thinking it's more of a time thing that we're having issues with right now.
Okay. So Cody said, I feel like a mimic is trying to cause some type of chaos or trickery, that it's trying to lure you out of a room or a place where it can really mess with you and get to you and get you in your most vulnerable state, right?
Could be.
He said that you hit it on the head. It's embedded in human nature to find answers to the unknown.
Bingo.
Daryl had problems with seeing a pet, a deceased pet.
I want to touch on that. So ever since my dog Zeus died, not Zuko. Zuko's he's looking at me now. I didn't call you, buddy.
Lay down, bud.
I didn't call you. But
Hey, Mama D.
Ever since Zeus died, I've been hearing, I've heard his footsteps. I've seen him out the corner of my eye. And then recently, I've been seeing a big black dog just run past me, and it's not mine. Run past me random places in my house.
Which is crazy that you say that, because I got out of the shower the other morning. You were asleep, and I saw like a lower to the ground black shadow that resembled an animal of some sort, but it was so fast, and I caught it out of my peripheral, and I wasn't sure really what to make of it. And then just now, prior to getting ready for the podcast, I went down to the basement and I heard like nails on the dog crate. And so I thought like Athena was in her crate, which, because she goes down there quite often and just lays in her crate. And when I looked, neither of our dogs were down there. So I do believe that pets, I don't know if a mimic, though, masquerades as a pet. I don't know if I can jump on that bandwagon. I feel like your pets can definitely come back.
Pet Cemetery.
And visit you. What's up, psychic medium Irene? I'm not even going there. The A last name, okay?
Achilleos.
Achilleos.
Did I say it right?
No.
I bet I did. Irene, did I say that right? Am I close? Am I like this close? Or am I like that close? That does not look right in the camera. Am I like this close or like this
We all
close?
know men don't tell measurements very well.
Like, how close am I, Irene? Is it Achilleos? I think I'm right.
Very close.
See?
Great
Irene,
job.
We're here, Irene. I knew it.
Okay. So I'm glad you're here.
I was wrong.
What's up, revered wolf?
What's up, Wolf?
All right. So here is my. Okay. So Michelle Wilfong said, I believe our past pets stay around. For sure.
For sure.
Definitely. So here's question number 3 for you guys. And I'm glad Irene is here because she can definitely add some excellent insight to this.
Y'all don't know Irene, go check her out on her socials.
Yes.
She's good. She's good.
Astral projection versus entity copying. Okay. If someone is actively projecting during sleep or a deep meditative state, can their projected astral body be mistaken by others in the house for a doppelganger or a mimic? I'm gonna let you answer that before I go to part 2 of that.
So before I answer any more questions, those of y'all who are watching, there is a reason why we're having this show tonight.
And we're gonna get to it.
Best Dressed Hobo's in here. He was with us. Howie, if he's still in here, he was with us that night. There is a night that we just did a recent investigation on that there's something that happened. It's confusing the hell out of us. So we're going to go down these questions. But yes. So do I believe, what's the question?
Okay. If someone is actively projecting during sleep or a deep meditative state, can their projected astral body be mistaken by others in the house for a doppelganger or a mimic?
So I think so, but there's but in there, and I like butts, y'all.
And I cannot lie. Hey, sorry.
I'm one of those people, again, when we're talking about paranormal, there are no real answers in the paranormal world. So people tend to lean on belief, and there are people who lean on theory. I'm somewhere in between. But after talking to Howie, talking to you, and then putting my own beliefs and theories in there, and with a little bit of science, I'm starting to think we're in a matrix. I'm not going to jump to doppelganger. I'm not going to jump to astral projection when there's the matrix theory out there. So if we're jumping time, how do I know when people see a doppelganger, you just didn't see that person in a different moment in time?
Okay. So where does the conscious projection end and the spiritual replication begin?
That's a question that nobody's going to be able to answer. I don't think that question can be answered. So
Irene says, I've heard people speak on overlapping timelines, etc. And what What are we really experiencing? Great question. I think it depends on the astral state too. Could it happen? I can't say it's not possible. We are continually learning those things.
I absolutely think Irene is on to something with that. Now, think about everything going on in the sky right now. Everything above the clouds. Think about the stuff going on with CERN. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot more going on than just the CERN shutdown that we don't know about.
Wait a minute, Sean. When I brought to you all of the theories about the CERN shutdown, you shut me down and said you didn't believe it.
You're right.
So my conspiracy theories are not crazy.
But as a paranormal investigator, right? And I will be the first one to sit on here and tell all of you who are watching that when Courtney brought the CERN theory to me, I wasn't feeling it. But as a paranormal investigator, to be a decent paranormal, I don't even consider myself a good paranormal investigator. But to be a decent paranormal investigator, you cannot be one-track minded, and you have to constantly be willing to change your theories and open your mind to new theories. I've talked to several people about that. I'm not the same investigator I was a year ago or 2 years ago because I'm always upgrading and changing my theories based on my research. This is why documentation of your investigations are very important. It's the biggest thing I see lacking in the paranormal field. When I see people go into investigations, no, I'm not ragging on nobody. So before you get your feelings hurt about what I say, I really don't care. But before you do, I'm not ragging on you. But what I'm saying is I see teams go to a location. I see them put all their equipment out. They do their investigation. They pack up, go home, and go to the next place and don't even document what they did. So again, I'm not ragging on you for that, but how do you grow as an investigator if you have no clue what you did the night before or the week before? Are you just trying to get your content, or are you just trying to have laughs and a good time?
Well, I think that goes back to
I'm glad you called me on that.
No, it's cool because I think that goes back on our theory that we had on a previous podcast too, the difference between a paranormal researcher and a ghost hunter. Right. Because there is a difference, guys. I have sat here publicly and told everybody I am a very good mixture of both. I like the jump scares, the sitting in the dark, the can you touch my REM pod, as Sean makes fun of me for.
My REM pod?
Okay, and all that fun stuff. I love it. I love going to haunted locations. I love urbex. I love everything about being a ghost hunter. But on the flip side, there are certain encounters and certain things that have happened to me in alleged haunted locations that cause me to, as Cody said before, go down some rabbit holes. Anthony, shout out to aka William Carroll over here.
William Carroll.
Document, review, analyze. 3 rules I set for myself.
Pretty good.
Perfect.
Rules.
What's up, Emily with Lost Souls PI? If you guys don't give them a like and a follow, head on over to lostsoulsp.i.
Another good investigator.
On the Facebook.
She just lies a lot.
Okay.
I love you, Emily. You number love, girl.
They publicly do satanic rituals at the opening ceremonies. They have a statue of Kali. Yeah, CERN. Yeah. So I don't know if I agree with that comment, Revered. They don't publicly do satanic rituals. They do have a statue that does resemble what people have called or believe to be a symbolism of satanic rituals. But no, they're not outside howling at the moon publicly. There is speculation, for sure. Emily's laughing at you. Okay, so
number love for you, Emily.
I want to know for you guys before I go into my next one. Have any of you guys in the chat tonight, or anybody in your household that has come to you, okay, ever sworn that they saw you in 2 places at once?
We deal with that all the time.
Okay. Or has anybody heard their significant other when their significant other is not home? We deal with that all the time, quite a bit too. So I would have to go look up and do some more research on that, Revered, because I think that there's a lot of editing and conspiracy theory floating the internet that isn't always credible. So I will tell you what, I'm going to go do some research on CCTV footage. A few times, even down to hearing their voice when I'm by myself. So, secondly, their opening ceremony was Baphomet oriented. You can find the video.
I do want to speak on that. I'm not saying that you're wrong, Wolf.
No.
I'm not saying you're wrong at all. But, you know, there's everything you do. If I was to right now stretch and my hand went like that before I stretch, some asshole's going to catch me like this and swear to God I'm with the Illuminati. You know, if I do like this for 1 second, somebody's going to screenshot me doing that and be like, oh gosh, Sean, he's one of them. He's got one eye covered. That's a Masonic, or that's some kind of ritual that they do. Everything, when it comes to conspiracy theories, my problem with conspiracy is it's just a theory. It's just like paranormal. It's just a theory. Everything is some sort of theory. And these Baphomet theories that we read about, these satanic rituals, the hand, the eye covering, all these theories that people sit around and conjure up. And then all of a sudden, there's, my ritual outfit. You saw me naked? That's my ritual. My ritual before I do every investigation is me in the shower praying.
You're right, Wolf.
So, you know.
I have it.
So here's the thing, Wolf. You know, a conspiracy is just that. It's a theory. I can literally sit here right now and say that your name is some sort of ritual and a theory because it has to do with a wolf. Wolves are very spiritual. So you could say my name is a wolf, Hill City Paranormal. That's my problem with theory. Just because people speculate and say things, if you catch me outside praying, somebody could say that's my ritual and it could be demonic. It doesn't make it fact. It's a theory. So I'm just saying, you know, we just don't take everything just because it says it's a theory that it's fact. We have to see it ourselves. That's all.
Cool. So that'll lead me to.
But we will check it out. Thanks for bringing it to our attention.
Yeah.
We do appreciate it. We appreciate all your intel and comment. We do. We really do.
So why do you think that certain entities mimic human voices and forms? Is it strictly to draw energy through fear and confusion? Or is it an actual attempt at communication? And then the second part of that is, what protective measures keep these entities from actually taking root in your home?
What protective measures?
So first part is, why do certain entities mimic human voices and forms? Is it strictly drawn to energy through fear and confusion, or is it an attempt at direct communication?
Again, that's a question that I really can't answer. And I honestly don't think, when it comes to mimics and it's copying your voice, we've heard it on EVPs. We've heard me say things on recorders and in videos that we know clearly I didn't say. Are we jumping time? Is it a glitch in our matrix, or is something really copying us? And again, if you go to certain people who believe things, it's the devil. It's a demon trying to control us. If you look at YouTube, it's demons everywhere. It's all over the place, which according to readings, that's simply not true. So I honestly do not have an answer. I have, theories on what it could be, but going back to what people are saying, and Wolf actually just brought up a really good point. He said, you always hear people say spirits feed off fear. These entities feed off the family and familiar energy. Wolf, that is a really good statement. So we were talking about why are people calling certain places the demon house, and why are people afraid of certain locations, and why do I walk into these locations and I'm like, I can go to sleep here, there's nothing here, because people are manifesting these certain negative energies in these locations. Howie's word, intent.
Yes.
I do feel like you are personally putting a lot of energy in certain places and calling them demons, when simply that's not the case. You're manifesting that negative energy there. and whatever energy is in there is feeding off of that.
Okay.
So yeah, that's a good point, Wolf.
So I'm going to take you guys down the road. I'm going to talk about the difference between a doppelganger and a mimic. We're going to cover astral projection. And then we're going to go into glitch in the matrix. And I'm going to spend the last few minutes talking about why we're having this show. Okay. Let's see. That goes back to what we said. Don't go to places with bad energy. True.
That's right, Anthony.
Young grasshopper, you are learning.
Anthony's like a sponge right now, man. I love it.
Found where this input is. Big Howie. Big Howie.
Big Howie.
All right. So, guys, I love nicknames that everybody comes up with. I love it. So, a doppelganger, guys, by definition, is a spectral double of a, what's up, Howie? Of a living person that acts as an omen of bad luck or death, while a paranormal mimic is an active, shape-shifting. Say that 10 times fast, y'all. Shape-shifting entity that copies voices and forms to deceive or lure people. So, ding, 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 ding. Cody was correct on that. Both phenomena involve an entity looking or sounding like someone else. They have distinct origins, behaviors, and a lot of lore surrounds them in the paranormal world. Okay. Again, a doppelganger is a ghostly double goer. All right. Or a replica of a specific living human. So it would be like Sean is here and out there at the same time. Okay. A mimic is a more broad predatory entity. A lot of the time in folklore and other legends, it's tied to the D word, demonic trickery. They can copy anyone's voice, appearance, or behavior.
Essentially the same damn thing.
Correct.
Who came up with this? Doppelgangers
are usually passive and silent. They mirror a person and wander where the real person is not. Rarely speaking, very rarely interacting. Mimics, though, call out to you with a trusted loved one's voice, trying to trick you into responding, thus allowing them to enter into your space. Okay. Doppelgangers are psychological omens or sometimes fatal omens. Traditionally, they're believed to forecast the death or doom of the person that they're copying. Mimics will use deception as a tool, often with malicious intent, used to like isolate, confuse you, lure you out of like your room or anything like that. A doppelganger strictly copies a human counterpart, where a mimic is not restricted to humans. It can also mimic pets, sounds, or non-human entities. Okay. Let's catch up on some of this. Rumor has it that if you run into your doppelganger, that's it for you. Let's see. NDE 3 times. All right. That is what I've heard commonly said. I had a doppelganger moment. I swear I drove by Cody and Robin last week, but they weren't even in town. Wolf said, I was completely dead. I was electrocuted by high voltage electricity. When I came back to life, I walked into the house. My mother just told me to sit down and watch TV. Okay.
Wow.
That is actually crazy. I would be panicking. But people report seeing a friend or family member walking down a hall, sitting in a room, okay, only to realize that the real person, here you go, Anthony, is miles away at that exact moment. The apparition usually vanishes upon making eye contact, completely avoids conversation. It's not having a conversation with you. But a lot of people have reported hearing a family member call their name from another room outside a door, only to find that the actual family member is standing safely elsewhere, or they're right beside them. It leaves you feeling with a very heavy sense of dread, because that voice feels real and it feels very manipulative. Okay. I want to touch on a few instances of that I've experienced personally recently, and as far back as about a year ago. We, as most of you guys know, live in a haunted house. Gentleman who owned it before us, his entire family, they built it, lived here his whole life. He used to make his presence very, very known upstairs. Heavy boot steps, lights cutting on and off, drawers opening, doors opening, like the whole nine. We had to sit down. We had to tell him, hey, look, your family moved on. It's okay to move on. We were reached out by his ex-wife who gave us some insight, and we were able to, what I believe, help him cross over. Not that was our intent. We did not cleanse the house. We didn't do anything. We just simply said, we can cohabitate, but the noisy spirit side of you needs to kind of take it from a 10 to a 2. As soon as I said that, without fail, if Sean is gone and I am in another room, I will hear his voice. And Sean has this voice, and I'm going to try not to laugh when saying it, but I call it the dad voice. Okay. So I will be in another room and I will hear Courtney. Like the dad voice.
That's how I sound.
Courtney. No, I can't do it like you. He gets his like deep dad voice where you feel like you're in trouble, like you're a kid, like, what did I do? Crap. So like I'll jump and be like, what's up? And then no response. And I walk out and his truck's not even here. And I'm like, okay, Naya recently was at our location, the Miller Clater house, and I'm gonna catch up on all of these comments, guys. Naya, what's up, Chris Mendez with Supernatural Untold Stories? All right,
Mendez.
Anyway, Naya was recently at our location, and Naya, I call her the Wanderer. Okay, anybody who's ever investigated with us with Naya, the second we go into a location, she's gone. She disappears. She's going exploring. She wants to see where she's drawn to. This particular day, it was the 3rd floor. I was sitting on the bottom floor at the table and I was working on my laptop. Our dad was sitting in the living room. All of a sudden we hear her yell, coming. And we didn't think anything of it. We kind of looked at each other like, okay, like whatever. She comes all the way down 3 flights of stairs and says, yeah. And her dad looked at her and was like, what? And she was like, I just heard Miss Courtney calling me and telling me to come downstairs. And I said, nah, I haven't said a single word. And he's like, seriously right now? She's like, seriously right now? And her dad's like, are you feeling okay? And she was like, yeah. And then she did not go back upstairs at that time. She said it actually scared her a little bit. And I can go on and on with these encounters. Going back to the doppelgangers, guys. And then I'm going to move on from here to astral projection and save the best for last. Okay. Hey, Howie, do you feel like you belong in your body? That sounds like a weird question. What was Howie's question? What did I miss? Oh, here it is. Death at 6, Dawn Feathers, death 2, car accident 120 into 4 trees, death 3, heart failure.
Wolf had just told a story about getting electrocuted. Okay, yeah, we saw that one.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Ever since I died, I feel like I've been trapped in this body, and the child that died didn't get back in.
Interesting.
Anthony, if you see a second me, we're all doomed. Yes. I'll run a second pub crawl. All right. Doppelganger is some encounters I've had with a doppelganger. Okay. And Emily, if you're still in here, drop in the comments. My most famous doppelganger story to date would be, we were investigating the historic Rainworth Lodge. Ron and Michelle from Boo's Paranormal were there. Emily and Chris with Lost Souls PI was there. Wait, was Ron there?
I don't think Ron was there that night.
I can't remember.
This was the first night when nobody
there was
there.
Several people there. Chris Mendez was there, I think.
No, I don't think Chris was there that night.
Well, I don't roll with so many people. There was a whole bunch of people there, okay? Emily and I were sitting. Oh, we were running a public. That's why there was a whole bunch of people there. We have investigated, guys, the Rainworth Lodge so many times that, like, I get them. They all kind of intertwine for me.
Yeah.
All right. So this particular night, we were running a public investigation. We were coming up to the tail end of it. And Emily and I were sitting in the kitchen, or not in the kitchen, in the living room. Chris was standing next to Emily. Chris had walked kind of off near the bookshelf. And right at this time, Emily and I had looked to the side, and Chris was standing in the doorway. When we looked back, we like blinked and looked back, and he was sitting in a chair. It was very weird. And like we saw both of them at the same time. And that was 10 out of 10 Chris's doppelganger. So we have an ongoing inside joke, guys, that she wasn't sure if she took home her husband or his doppelganger. We so far to date believe she picked the correct one and took home her husband. But that is probably the most clear doppelganger experience that I've had ever in the years I've been doing this. Okay. So now fast forwarding to astral projection. All right. And again, this is all going to make sense in about 5 minutes. All right. Astral projection, for those of you that don't know, is an intentional out of body experience. Hang on that word intentional, guys. Where consciousness separates from your physical body and travels through an astral plane. Okay. Your astral body is a subtle, non-physical energy that carries your consciousness during the duration of this experience. And there is a metaphoric cord, which is like a strong tether that connects your astral body back to your physical form. And then the astral plane is an alternate non-physical dimension that reacts to thoughts and emotions. All right. So there's common techniques to practice this. The mind awake and body asleep, obviously, is the most common. The core state is required. Often it's reached through like deep meditation, deep sleep, relaxation practices, a lot of yoga. Okay. And then the wake back to bed, which is also called WBTB method, where you're waking up after 5 to 6 hours of sleep, staying completely still, keeping your mind conscious as your body drifts back to sleep. Sounds like a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have your vibration stage. This is noticing like your internal pulses or buzzing sensations, almost like putting yourself or like hypnotizing yourself. Okay. You then at that point mentally direct your energy through your body before gently imagining sitting up out of your physical shell. Okay. We've had people before come in our comments and say that they remember everything as though they were sitting up right there. It was when we were talking about night terrors. Okay. You can put yourself into a vibration stage of astral projecting, and you can be sitting up out of your physical shell. You think you're sitting up, you're aware of everything that's going on, but somebody from the outside looking in sees you still sleeping. Okay. Scientists categorize out-of-body experiences as perpetual illusions. I can't talk right now. Perceptual. There we go. Got it out.
Perceptual.
Illusions or hallucination states. My mouth was getting dry. Linking to brain activity in the temporal region. Okay. Sleep paralysis, as I just said. All right. Or intense emotional distress rather than like literal getting up and walking or hopping on a plane to another dimension. So there are guided routines that you can try out. This is a skill that a lot of people can acquire. But there's a lot of different religions out there that utilize it. Ancient Egypt being number one. What's up, Andrew? Egyptians believe that the soul had multiple parts, including the Ka, which is your spiritual twin or a life force that is capable of separating you from your physical body and then traveling freely throughout the planes. Hinduism is another one. Taoism in ancient China. Meditators would use like precise breath work in order to project their spirit. And then obviously the 19th century occult boom, guys. The phrase astral projection was coined at that time, heavily popularized and led by a Madame Helena. And then she would integrate this into her training. All right. Then there was a brief shift in the 70s where a researcher actually like secularized the concept, and then he coined the term out of body. So now it's no longer astral projection. It's now out of body experience. And that was founded by the Monroe Institute to study this using sound frequency, actually. So you can replicate, like I said, the phenomena before through electrical stimulation. Okay. You could have a full body illusion. Yep, you got it. You got it, Andrew, right there. Thank you for putting her name in the comments. So you can also use like VR goggles. And then you can trick your brain into shifting its sense of self into like almost like a digital avatar sitting across the room. Brain scans show, though, high activity in the prefrontal cortex during vivid out-of-body states. So lucid dreaming, similar to when a person realizes they're dreaming and then takes actual control of their dream. Okay. I've come to realize I'm just a hobo sitting in the corner eating beans and watching the whole world burn. So I could go on for days about astral projection. If you guys want to research more, there's obviously the Stargate Project, guys. Everybody, for the most part, is versed on the Stargate Project, but it was a secret Army unit that was established in 1977 at Fort Meade. Basically, they utilized it to investigate the potential for psychic phenomena in military and domestic intelligence. Okay. That is a whole show by itself, so I am not going to talk a whole lot on Stargate, but their work primarily involved remote viewing. All right. That is the ability to psychically see events, sites, information from like here. Okay. The project was actually overseen until 1987. The lieutenant became known as a psychic headhunter. So the unit was small scale. It had about 15, 20 individuals in it. And it was run out of like some old rundown barracks. It was terminated and declassified in 95 after a review by the CIA concluded it was never useful in any intelligence operation at all. So this leads me to what Sean's been itching to talk about and has already touched on: a glitch in the matrix. Okay. I'm giving you guys this backstory, and then I'm going to let you take free reign and tell the story, and then everybody can decide in the comments. Okay. A glitch in the matrix is a paranormal and internet phenomena where people experience bizarre, unexplainable events that make them feel as though physical reality is a simulated or a flawed computer program. A lot of common types of glitches are disappearing objects, where items will vanish from plain sight, never reappear, or they pop up in places that you've already checked thoroughly. And damn puck wedgies. Deja vu is the most common form of a glitch in the matrix, guys. It's where you experience intense repeating coincidences and you feel like you've been there before. An identical sequence of events. Look at Groundhog Day if you want to watch a movie. And then time slips, which is what we're actually going to talk about. Moments where time seems to either skip forward or slow down abnormally or repeat itself without logical explanation. Then you have like uncanny sensory input, hearing distinct sounds or smelling like specific scents, and there's no physical source where this came from. A lot of us paranormal investigators have experienced that. We've walked into a haunted location, we smell cigar smoke, cigarettes, a very sweet floral perfume, things like that. Visual stutters. All right. Rare accounts of animals or people repeating a physical movement or flickering, almost like a lagging video loop. Okay. There are 3 popular explanations to this, guys. Simulation theory, which is the philosophical idea that our universe is essentially an artificial computer and we're all living in a simulation. Okay. Then you know what? The bread on Rivermont. We experience that. You are correct. The bread smell. All right. Then another explanation would be quantum immortality. This is a hypothesis, guys, that suggests that consciousness shifts to like a parallel reality when faced with a fatal event, leaving like minor memory or environmental discrepancies behind. Then you have psychological factors. Science attributes most of these moments to normal cognitive slips, micro sleeps, faulty memory reinforcement, or like heightened sense of pattern recognition, and things like that. So this now I'm going to ask you guys, what is the creepiest glitch in the matrix that you guys have experienced? Drop them in the comments. Sean is getting ready to tell you guys, because we took up quite a bit of time explaining all of that, but he's getting ready to tell you guys why and what happens.
So you all know we have a location that we're hosting now. It is the Miller Clater House here in Lynchburg, Virginia. Now, I have to back it up a little bit. The night before, a team had rented this place out. And before I tell this story, I mean no disrespect to the team. I actually want to give them credit. They were about an hour into investigating. And prior to the investigation, a gentleman on the team told me that he felt like there were no ghosts in the house, that the house was not, he didn't feel anything. He didn't feel any spiritual activity there. An hour in, the gentleman was outside with his wife, and he had an overwhelming feeling. If he said it felt like something was just attacking him spiritually, and he could not be in the house any longer. I've never gotten that feeling in the house, but I've had several other investigators have it. Cody's one of them. He's in the comments. Howie's another one. He's in the comments. And other gentlemen who've been investigating a lot longer than I have had the feeling. I just don't have that feeling when I go in there. That it's just, maybe it's me, maybe it's my genetics. I don't know. But he had that feeling, and the whole team started feeling off kilter. So they asked me to pray for them or pray with them, and I did. The team goes back in the house about 15 minutes later, and about 30 minutes into the investigation, again, the team decides that they were going to leave. That they could not withstand the energy in that house anymore. Whatever was in there, they exited the house. So after that happened, I had closed down the house for the night. The next night, Howie Odell comes into town, and we were looking for a place to investigate. And we were either going to investigate our office building, which is built in the 1870s. A little bit of paranormal history in there that we found. And something popped in my head and said, y'all want to go to Miller Clater? So we were like, yeah, let's go. Immediately upon arrival, I didn't feel any bad energy, but the house felt off. It just felt off. The energy felt different. It felt like things were just oddly off. But we went ahead with the investigation. We were hearing footsteps up on the second floor, hearing knocks, some distant voices and conversations. Meanwhile, I want you to keep in mind, Naya was with me the entire time during this, like eyes on her the whole time.
And
what do you mean?
We have cameras all
around. And we have cameras all around this location. You're right. We have cameras all around. Naya was with me the whole time. Howie decides that he's going to go back to the third floor of the house where he had his negative experience. Howie goes up. I go up. Naya goes up. We're all upstairs, and we're met with an intense fog. It's like so much fog that it was It was so thick you could barely breathe. You couldn't see through it. It was terrible. So I immediately cut on my UV light so I could see the fog better. It's like just right there in your face. Cody says you don't need the UV light. He cut his lantern on and the fog was surrounding his lantern. So we're investigating upstairs. Naya just randomly decides, she looks at me, she says, Dad, this fog, I'm breathing. I feel like I'm breathing it in. It's affecting my asthma. Can you hear me wheezing? So I was listening. I could hear her wheezing. She decides to go sit on the top step and falls asleep into a deep sleep. So I'm watching her at this point. I'm no longer investigating. I'm watching everyone else investigate. We decided after a few more minutes after a few EVPs, we were going to end the investigation and just leave. And so Courtney is trying to wake Nia up because nobody can get past her at this point on the top step. Nia doesn't wake up. She's just sitting there asleep. I had to actually yell Nia's name to wake her up. Well, when we get to the bottom of the stairs, Courtney is getting camera notifications. The whole time pretty much we were upstairs in that area, the camera shows Nia walking around downstairs aimlessly. Walking through the parlor, walking down the steps, just walking around aimlessly with a blank stare on her face. Nia never left us upstairs. Now, I have several witnesses in the chat. Howie's one, Cody's one, Best Dressed Hobo's one. Nia never left our side. I'm trying to figure out what happened. Now, skeptics will say, well, maybe she left and y'all didn't realize it or didn't know it. No, when my 17-year-old's looking at me saying that her asthma is possibly acting up, I'm not investigating. I'm now paying attention to her. If she wasn't wheezing to the point where she couldn't breathe, but it wasn't bad, but I'm keeping an eye on her at that point. It wasn't to the point where I needed to stop the investigation and get her a rescue inhaler. I know where her limitations are. She would have told me. Nia's very vocal. Nia does like to wander. She does walk around. However, no other camera caught her in the house but the downstairs camera. The one on the second floor didn't catch her walking down the stairs. The one in the kids' room didn't catch her walking. No other camera caught her. Just hitting the bottom of the stairs, her walking around the parlor. But Cody has a timestamp picture where she was with us. The upstairs camera has a timestamp where she was with us, but the timestamp matches the bottom stairs camera of her at the same time being with us. So it's not making sense that it doesn't make any sense. The time's not adding up. Now, as Courtney was showing the pictures and the camera to Howie, the camera immediately changed time in real time while they were looking at it to try to match the picture on Cody's phone. In real time, just tried to change the picture when they were reviewing the camera. Right then and there. As if, like, oh crap, they're realizing that this is wrong. Now, some people might say that that's just the camera adjusting itself. It's adjusting the time. I have two properties, y'all. Both of them are secure with cameras all over them, inside and out. I've never watched camera footage and the camera tries to correct the time when I'm looking at it.
Howie, are you still in here? If you are, can you drop in the comments what time it changed to? And there's a reason I'm asking this. And I'm going to send you something if you say what I think you're about to say. Keep on going. Sorry to interrupt you.
Even if Nia let's say she did somehow in 2 minutes with having trouble breathing, walk down 3 flights of stairs.
I'll read the story. Okay, all right. Watch this. Howie just said, I watched it change from 11:03 to 11:02. What does that say?
11:03.
What does that say?
11:03.
This is not relevant. It's the middle one. 11:03. I've got a screenshot, Howie, right here of the camera where it says 11. 3.
So even if not, let's say I'm completely off. It's all wrong. Who can convince me that Naya ran down 3 flights of stairs, walked around, and then ran back up 3 flights of stairs without the cameras catching her in 2 minutes?
And it didn't catch her going down, and it didn't catch her coming back up.
And then falling asleep to the point where she couldn't wake up.
I'll send it to you.
And us not notice it.
Right.
There's no way.
And
unless she's got superpowers.
Cody, Best Dressed Hobo, has a timestamp photo of her standing up, wide awake, leaning over the bed. So, you know, at the end of the day, the time isn't timing. It's not physically possible. Okay. Now, Beth had a really cool story that I do want to read really quick. Beth was leaving Maine. She was moving, heading towards Bangor. Since I knew that route very well, I drove it until it got dark, and suddenly I realized I was right back where I started. I didn't make any turns. Time had literally slipped, and her location had as well. And she said, I don't think that I really explained that well. She left in the morning, and it was suddenly night.
Interesting.
Okay. So, and she was right back where she started. Her stepdaughter was with her and just started freaking out. So does Naya have any memories of what she was dreaming during that time? Heather, good question.
So here's the weird thing about that, Heather. That's a good question. Naya remembers everything verbatim of what Howie and I were talking about during that time, what Courtney was saying, where we were standing, where we were placed, when we decided to go up to the 3rd floor, what we were doing on the 3rd floor. She remembers everything except going downstairs. And then all of a sudden she said, well, I do remember going to the bottom stairs, but I don't remember anything from there. I remember reaching the bottom steps and that was it. She doesn't remember walking around. None of that. Now.
And her mannerism, guys, is what was off. You gotta understand, anybody who's investigated or been around Naya for an extended period of time knows her mannerisms and the way that my camera picked her up. So my living room camera picked her up from the bottom of the stair when it should have picked her up walking down the stairs. It picked her up stepping off of the very last step, followed her until she reached the parlor entrance. She stops dead in her tracks, and it looks like she almost hits a wall, like the way she stops. She's walking the entire time with her hands on her hips. Like most people walk with their hands down, swinging their arms side to side when they're walking, whatever. From the moment she walked off of the last step, her hands were on her hips. Okay. She stares blankly into the parlor camera or into the general direction of the parlor camera, stares at it, according to my camera, for a whole minute. But yet Cody caught her at 11:05. So this is time stamped 11:03, meaning she stared at it till 11:04. And then there's no camera footage, and she would have had to have passed 2 cameras coming back up and then a 3rd camera when she got to the very top. None of those picked her up. And at 11:06, 7, something like that, 6, 7. We called it and decided to go downstairs. And that's when Cody and I decided to compare timestamp. Howie and I were looking at the camera. And the crazy thing is when I was investigating up on the 3rd floor is when I was getting the notifications of her actually like walking around downstairs, but I didn't think anything of it. I thought, oh, well, maybe somebody just walked downstairs. We are actively investigating this house. So I cleared the notifications, or I ignored them. I didn't clear them. I left them at the top of my screen. Naya was asleep right there at the foot, like right by her dad's feet. It took 2 of us calling her name for her to actually wake up. And it was just very, very bizarre. So let me ask you this before we wrap it up, guys. Does she have a doppelganger? A mimic? Or did she just astral project? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
Or was it a glitch in time?
Or was it a glitch in the matrix? That was the fourth one. Thank you, Sean. How did she feel afterwards?
Normal.
She said very tired, actually. She told me she was very tired. And if I remember correctly, right when we got home, she crashed out.
She was up for a little while.
She was up for a little while. Cody says it's aliens.
I mean, that's I can't rule it out.
Beth says, I know for a fact it doesn't take 13 hours to get from Callisis, Maine to Bangor, Maine, but it was 13 hours later and she went nowhere. She was still in, I'm probably saying that wrong, Calais, whatever. It probably is pronounced really fancy. She did seem exhausted when we left. She did. So, mimic, doppelganger, did she astral project, or did we experience a real life glitch in the matrix? Food for thought.
I honestly think, in my opinion, the cameras was not supposed to catch that. I think that it's one of those things that the house is showing us some really weird stuff. Every time we investigate that house, it shows us something different.
It does.
The house really is no joke, you know. I keep telling people that it's not going to give you a jump scare. Not yet, at least. It hasn't given me one yet. It's got me. It hasn't given me a jump scare yet or anything like that. It's just weird. It's got weird happenings in there. And it's showing me something new every time.
Cody said it's got him stumped. Feels like he has the itch to go back, which is super weird because he doesn't like the feeling that he gets when he's there. And the crazy thing is, guys, like this location, I've been in it alone. I've been sitting at the table working by myself. As a matter of fact, earlier in that night, I was just by myself. And then I went and picked Nia up from work, and she was by herself with me in that house. Then when our tour ended, we packed up, we got Sean, Howie, Cody, and Robin, and went back to Miller Clater. So we didn't get any weird feelings. We didn't get, any of that. Then the kicker to this, guys, is we went on location with a full spirit box, full battery. Towards the end, we said, hey, guys, we should cut on the spirit box and see what we're getting. When we went to go cut it on, it was in the off position and completely drained dead. Heather said something's using her energy and form is what she feels.
The way she was walking around in the video,
it was robotic.
Next week, you have to load it. To me, it looked like picture you took on somebody's form and you were walking around like, this is interesting. Like, this is my house. What are y'all doing to my house? Kind of thing. Like looking around as if it was using her body as a vehicle.
It's more than a heavy pressure. It affects you more than one way. I get headaches and nausea so bad that it makes me afraid to go back because of it. The house is very active with spirit. I do not think it's a negative thing. I just think it's a protection thing. There is a very strong presence there of a previous homeowner, guys. And by the way, before we wrap this up, if you are curious about this location, we are booking this. It is open for private investigations. Send me a message if you're interested. If you are also curious and ever wanted to, reach out to a loved one or get a read from a psychic medium, we are hosting an event. Scotty the Medium is coming down. He will be going pub crawling with William Carroll, and then followed by a 3-hour investigation of this location. Tickets are live on our website, www.hillcityafterdark.com. Scroll to the bottom to special events. Heather has already secured her spot, and she is coming in full force. Guys, let's keep Heather some company, okay? I've got limited spots available, so definitely grab them quick. I know I'm looking forward to it because I've always wanted a live read. I know so many psychic mediums that have never really asked or thought to ask for them. So I could tell the night I investigated the Clater house, you can tell it has a lot to give. It's a great place. Thank you, Daryl. And get your tickets today for the best damn ghost tours in downtown Lynchburg.
That's right.
Yep, Hill City Tours. All of our events are posted, hillcityafterdark.com. But we are going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all of your input, your insight. It is much appreciated. Much love.
Much love.
Coming from the Hill City. Until next week on Wednesday, guys. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're only switching it up for this week and next, and then we're back on our regularly scheduled broadcast.
Yeah.
But my name is Courtney.
I'm Sean.
And until next Wednesday,
We'll see you on the other side.
We'll see you on the other side.